Let's go live now to Bruce Hawker and get his thoughts on the way this has all happened with the Chinese Premier. What do you think of it, Bruce? Outside, a lot of sensitivities and some tensions, a few clashes between rival protesters. Inside, it's all been all positive and the language about being back on the right track.
Inside and out. But I think we're seeing a remarkable change in the relationship between China and Australia. You only have to think back a few years when Australian ministers under the Liberal government were not getting their phone calls returned at all by anyone in China. It was a terrible state of affairs. We had all those embargoes in place. It was a mess. And that largely came from some very clunky sort of attitudes by Scott Morrison calling for international inquiries into the COVID in China. That was always going to be a big mistake. So we've come a long way from there. But having said that, there's no doubt that the big elephant in the room is still defence, Taiwan, our relationship with the United States, all these issues which are floating around at the military and defence level. They're not going to go away anywhere anytime soon. However, they are our largest trading partner. So Australia will be much more deft in the way in which it manages the relationship with China. And I think we saw that level of sophistication today, and that's welcome because our farmers, our miners, our exporters all depend heavily on a good relationship with China.
Yeah, and as you rightly touched on, there's those defence issues, there's the espionage, the cyber attacks and everything else. So it's a complex thing to balance. You've got the economic growing trade relationship, which has grown dramatically in the last 7 years since the previous high-level visit to Australia. The trade relations have grown regardless of all of that.
They have, and of course, international events have ensured that would be the case. COVID had a major effect on it as well. So we're lucky that we actually haven't been more badly affected by the trade relationship with China than we might otherwise have been. But I think today we saw the Prime Minister making it very clear that issues are still out there to be resolved, and defence issue is one which they've obviously got their eye very firmly on. China's role in the South Pacific, its relationship with some of our near Pacific partners, they're all things which Australia is very concerned about at an international level. So I think in a pretty sophisticated way of dealing with it today by both sides.
Bruce, what's your read on those polls that we've seen today? Some encouraging news there for Peter Dutton.
I don't think they'll be doing victory laps over in Liberal Party headquarters on the basis of one poll, but I think they would be pleased that the approach that they're taking at the moment seems to be working pretty well for them. Having said that, the two-party third vote, even on that result poll, according to reports in the Herald today, say that it's 51-49 still for Labor. So it's a close fight that's going on. And I don't think we're going to see a real strengthening in Labor's position until such time as interest rates start coming down. That means inflation come down. And that's that very difficult balancing act that Jim Chalmers and Anthony Albanese have to engage in all the time. They have to be giving tax cuts where they can be delivered, but understanding that they go too far, going to increase inflation. That no government really wants to, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. And I think...
Bruce, thank you very much as always. The line's just a bit scratchy. We'll talk to you next week.